real winter wonderland in Minneapolis, Minnesota, the Target Center All-Star Saturday night. Let's look at the starting lineups now for the first annual Rookies game. First of all, K.C. Jones and the Sensations. And Hubie, this is a pretty good, well-balanced lineup here.
Well, they're playing their normal positions, and that's interesting that they would be able to form a club that way.
Here's Doug Collins' starting lineup.
You can see right here, Chris Webber must play center for this unit. Kukoc had a small forward. Raj had a big forward for Boston. So we have the same. We have a nice balanced group. But like we said earlier, there'll be three substitutions for each ball club, and then that's where the players will get out of position.
We will play two 15-minute halves here, so we're going to be seeing a very nearly complete basketball game. Two 15-minute halves with the clock stopping, and we will have 10 team fouls. Fouls will be called on players, but nobody will foul out, so we won't be losing an Anthony Hardaway or a Chris Webber due to foul trouble in the ball game. And the man who's tossing it up was once the big man,
sure,
the Minneapolis Lakers, George Mikan. What a legend.
They won 3 championships in a row. They had Vern Mickelson and Palmer in the corner, and then I think Slater Martin and Whitey Skoog may be in the backcourt.
Now that's impressive, Hubie.
Now that's back in the 50s.
A man as young as you are that remembers that is George Mikan.
Pollard and Mickelson at the forwards. They were considered the greatest front line in the history of the game for many, many years.
The honorary tip-off, and now our officials are Ted Bernhardt, Joe DeRosa, and Jim Kinsey. And the first rookies game is underway. Kukoc gets the jump. In white, the Doug Collins Phenoms, and number 1 from the Detroit Pistons, Lindsey Hunter. Pass inside to Webber, the hook shot over Bradley.
Well, the teams had a chance to work out yesterday for an hour. You could see a little organization there, a nice baseline screen to free up Webber that time.
Here is Nick Van Exel out of the Cincinnati Bearcats. Van Exel got a starting role in his rookie year. Into the corner, Jamal Mashburn, who's been carrying a big load in Dallas.
Mashburn is having an outstanding season in regards to scoring points, but he's having a difficult time shooting, only shooting right at that 40% mark.
J.R. Ryder follows his own shot. Isaiah Ryder, I say J.R. After coming out of college, J.R. changed his name to Isaiah, and he will be known henceforth as Isaiah Ryder. He'll be in the slam dunk competition coming up. He's not short of confidence. On draft night, he guaranteed a victory in the slam dunk competition before he'd even been invited. He is invited and is here. Mashburn against Webber. Mashburn hits the jumper. That was the big debate before the draft. Who was better?
Well, yeah, I think that Golden State very happy with their choice with Webber. Orlando extremely happy with Hardaway.
Hunter has it tipped off. It will belong to the Collins Phenoms.
And the thing to remember about that trade, not only did you get Hardaway for that first pick, but you also get 3 first-round picks for the future.
Hunter hits the 3.
He's a very, very talented young man. Averaged 26 points a game in college, and you know that he can score.
Chris Mills dishing off to Bradley out at the high post, being played by Dino Radja. Quick hands from Hunter, too. Punches it away from Van Exel. Down to Bradley, looking for the hook. And finding it.
I'm happy for him. And, you know, he's making progress. Within the last month of this season, he has really improved in all facets of the game. He only plays 28 minutes a game.
Tony Kukoc had moments of brilliance this first half of the season with Chicago. Another 3. This one missed. Chris Mills out of Arizona. Before that with Kentucky, you may recall. All the way coast to coast. Mills reverse lay-in.
Mills very talented. Started out his career at Kentucky for a year, then transferred to Arizona. You know, player of the year in the Pac-10 as a senior. Getting quality minutes at Cleveland. Has started quite a few ball games for them.
There's a mismatch. Hunter got matched up with Bradley, lobbed it inside. They move it around to Kukoc for the drive.
Oh, nice pass.
To Radja, the Croatian sensation, to his former Croatian teammate, Dino Radja. And back for the lay-in.
All Radja had to do was take an extra step, and he had a layup. I know Kukoc's going to tell him, if I'm going to pass the ball to you, please move towards it.
The foul called, and we will remind you here that in white, Doug Collins' group, the Phenoms, in the teal uniforms, the Sensations, coached by Casey Jones. I kind of wanted to call them Casey's kids.
Well, this young man is really a talent. Not only does he give you the points, you can see the assists and steals, but then he chips in at that 2-guard position. He's in the top 5 guards in the league in rebounding, averaging over 5 a game.
I'll tell you, a couple of things go right in adding a couple of missing pieces in Orlando. They could be championship contenders quickly.
Absolutely. He has beautiful hands. He has soft hands, and he never makes a spectacular play. All of his plays he makes look easy. The pass is right on the money.
Isaiah Ryder looking for a pick, gets a big one from Weber. Wanted to roll, couldn't get the ball to him. Raja is open.
Beautiful pass that time. Anytime you get trapped, they were rotating right to the basket. Beautiful.
Van Exel from long range. Rebound, Dino Raja. Lindsey Hunter for the Pistons.
This guy can move.
Behind the back, Raja couldn't handle it. This guy can move too. Mashburn to Hardaway. The lob and missed the jam. What a play.
Well, 2 guys went for that. They both thought that the pass was for that. Mashburn and Mills, and we had a collision in midair. Now keep an eye on this. You're going to see Hardaway put it up there. Now watch the collision that we have. They both think that it's their ball.
That would be the first four-handed jam in NBA history. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think there's been a four-handed jam previously. 11-10 Phenoms. They're in white, coached by Doug Collins. Mashburn from the baseline.
Mashburn has the complete game. He has a 3-point game. He's second of all of the players here in attempts and threes. He has a great game with his back to the basket, can dribble, take it to the hole strong.
Mashburn. Van Exel with the lob to Hardaway.
I think right now, Doug is going to have to talk to his team about their transition defense. All right.
Sensations 14-11 with their lead here after trailing early in the contest. Remember, playing a 15-minute half. 10:52 to go in the first half. Chris Webber matched up against Bradley. Off to Isaiah Ryder from 19. Mashburn, look at him handle the ball. Complete player. Van Exel with the lob to Hardaway. Nice. Remember, he's 6'8". Stepped on the baseline. It'll go the other way.
Now this is a nice move. Van Exel looking always down on the baseline. Hardaway coming from the opposite wing. Right now, see, you have a problem with Doug Collins' team. J.R. Ryder and Kukoc are not getting back defensively to help out Lindsey Hunter. Now, anytime that you play all-star games, you know, it's very difficult to discipline these guys and tell them, listen, anytime that the point guard drives to the basket, our 2 and 3 people, meaning the second guard and the small forward, you must rotate back and help out here.
Now some substitutions coming into the ball game. Popeye Jones is in. Of course, he plays along with Calvin Chaney, Antonio Davis in the ball game, and make that P.J. Brown in the ball game.
All 3 players that we just introduced played in Europe a year ago.
Byron Russell also on the floor. Hunter with the drive and the dish to Chris Webber.
Hunter has such a quick first step that you must shade him behind the backboard. If you go to make the trap, he will make the pass in traffic.
Here's P.J. Brown. Plays for New Jersey now. A long-range miss from Anthony Hardaway.
Antonio Davis, he can really board.
Bullet pass inside, out of bounds. It'll belong to the Phenoms, coached by Doug Collins, and Dino Raja will trigger the play.
I'd like to bring out a point here. Raja's 26 years of age, but Kukoc, Davis, and P.J. Brown are all 25 years of age. You say, hey, Webber's only 20, and they're all in this rookie game.
Kukoc leans in, makes the pass to Brian Russell. Brian Russell with the Utah Jazz came out of Long Beach State. He's 23 years old. He was the 45th pick in the second round for Utah this year.
An excellent choice. They love his defense, the fact that he can help out on the boards. He starts regularly for the Utah Jazz.
Lindsey Hunter. Van Exel, good matchup there. And here's Chris Webber handling out on the open floor. behind the back pass, ill-advised. Kukoc breaks up the lob attempt inside. They were looking for Hardaway. And let's go to Craig Sager now, who's with the antithesis of a rookie, Kevin McHale.
Well, Bob, we talk about the rising stars in the league. Obviously, a transition period. One of those who has left the game recently, Kevin McHale. What are your thoughts as you look at how the league has changed and the young guys playing now?
Well, it's great to have an all-rookie team. I think that our game, I think the people get a chance to see the stars of the future. The league's changed some. It's going to go through a flux anytime you have an era where you have a Michael Jordan, a Magic, and Larry Bird. That's a heck of an area to try to follow. So there's a lot of those guys have left. A little bit luster's off the game. I don't think the teams are quite as good as they used to be. But that's going to pick back up again. I think the younger teams, the Orlandos, the Charlottes, are going to be the teams of the future.
You missed the game?
No, I enjoy what I'm doing right now, watching it and kind of being this close to it.
Sad to watch the Celtics?
Well, it's tough watching the Celtics sometimes, but they're going to go through a period of growth, too. They'll be better in a couple of years.
Okay, thanks a lot, Bob.
Sure.
18-15, Casey Jones sensation rookie team leading, and now it's 20-15 as P.J. Brown scores. He has his first basket of the game.
P.J. Brown, an excellent pickup this year for New Jersey. He replaced Chris Morris at that small forward position. Now he's 6'11" and can play defense and rebound for you.
Weber has 6 points to lead all scorers for the Phenom, and Hardaway has 6 for the Sensations. Brian Russell on the break. Weber out in front, lost the control. It'll belong to the Sensations, leading 20-17. 7 minutes, 45 seconds remaining in the first half. Remember, we are playing 2 15-minute halves here in the first annual Schick Rookie Game on All-Star Saturday night. Doug Collins Phenoms trailing Casey Jones Sensations by 3. Let's listen in on Doug's timeout.
Corner screen roll, or triple play, or okay. You're in corner. We'll let Dino set the screen so you be off this, all right? Okay.
Well, Hubie, we have to report in the spirit of fair play that Doug's team has committed 5 turnovers here. They're allowing the Sensations to shoot 69% from the field.
He said at the top of the show, All-Star games, one of the main things you can count on, a ton of turnovers. Players not accustomed to playing with one another, the speed of the game, big people rotating to them, and then they all try to put a little mustard on some of the passing.
Absolutely. 3-point lead for the Sensations. 7:38 to go in the first half.
Ooh, nice. Very strong move on that move as he made the catch. Cheney, who is now playing major minutes with Washington. They moved him to the 2-guard position, and it seems to really fit his athletic talent.
Calbert Cheney, the college basketball player of the year at Indiana.
By everyone. The Wooden Award, the Naismith, Associated Press, Sports Illustrated, unanimous player of the year last year.
5-point lead for the Sensations. Sam Cassell out of Florida State, now with the Houston Rockets at point guard. Passes off to Lindsey Hunter. And Brian Russell is held as he attempts the penetration.
Well, in the early going, at both ends of the floor, the teams are trying to keep the spacing. You can see that the 2 coaches, Casey and Doug, have really made a lasting impression on them that, look, play within, share the ball, get the spacing, and everyone will get their shots.
Here's Cassell with a drive, misses the lay-in, and it will belong to the Phenoms. Antonio Davis, number 33 in white, as you look at Casey Jones. Antonio Davis playing at Indiana in some major minutes, big rebounder and an impressive rookie who had some European experience.
Well, he had 3 years overseas. And I really like what he has to offer. He is a big body, 6'8", 250.
And gets the victory lap before it drops. Antonio Davis played his college ball at Texas El Paso.
Played 2 years in Greece and 1 year in Italy. He's a bruiser.
Here's Chris Mills out of Arizona. The penetration, good play over Raja. 24-19, Sensations by 5. 6:46 to go first half. The first annual rookie game, 15-minute halves.
That's what Doug Collins was talking about in that huddle. Screen and roll with Raja setting the screen.
Anthony Hardaway, who, when you say does it all, does it all. Rebounds, assists, scores, plays defense. Big muscle move by P.J. Brown.
I tell you, he has done a terrific job for the Nets. When Morris was injured at that small forward position, he stepped in. He has given them major minutes, good time. Chuck Daly's not afraid to play him at any time in the ballgame.
Look out, Hardaway behind the back, missed the pass. Foul on the drive. Penny Hardaway made the pass behind his back. It was enough to get him a rest on the bench for a moment as we got a substitution in the ball game. Number 9 is Nick Van Exel from Cincinnati, who started in the game. Chris Mills goes to the free throw line. Brian Russell picked up the personal. None of these players will foul out of this game. However, unless it's a shooting foul, the penalty starts after 10 team fouls.
Now, Chris Mills, who's on the line, was the 22nd pick in the first round of the draft by Cleveland. He missed 2 games earlier in the year because of an irregular heartbeat. But he's back now. He's at good strength. Very good talent because of the three-point threat.
Mashburn, Mills, and Hardaway all have 6 points for KC's Sensations, leading by 9.
Oh, nice move.
Van Exel tried the reverse. It didn't fall.
Bad shot. He has a tendency to take bad field goal attempts, but he is extremely talented off the dribble.
Loose ball out here to Raja on the break. Isaiah Ryder dishes to Cassell, to Antonio Davis, and it'll fall. Good ball movement that time by the Doug Collins Phenoms. They trail by 7. It's really interesting to see these rookies playing together, because even when if you get to see them a lot, like you might Orlando's Anthony Hardaway, you don't get to see them with their peers. They're still looking like rookies. It's a nice balance here as Calbert Cheney hits the soft left-handed. He's a smooth player from about 18. Sensations back by 9. That was just inside the three-point line. That was a 2. Isaiah Ryder with the basket. Isaiah will be in the slam dunk competition a little bit later, as we pointed out.
And so will Antonio Davis.
Good interior defense for KC's team. Stolen by Raja. Missed the pass, and Cassell runs it down.
I think right now we need a timeout and tell all the guys no more behind-the-back passes.
Exactly. They're banned for the rest of the game. Van Exel. It's tipped away by Brian Russell, and now Chris Webber and Kukoc back into the ball game for the Doug Collins Phenoms.
Now Van Exel, for most of this season, was running second to Muggsy Bogues in assist to turnover ratio. Muggsy Bogues is notorious for coming in right around 4.9 or 5 assists per turnover, and you've got to give this guy a lot of credit. Van Exel was running right up there at 4.6 and 4.7.
Chris Mills handling in the open court. Center power forward. Takes it coast to coast. Dishes off to Antonio Davis, who'll go to the line.
Well, for Chris Webber to get out on the open floor is nothing new, because Don Nelson allows Owens and Webber to rebound, take the middle of the fast break, because then he has Sprewell running for threes. They allow their big people to handle the ball. So if you're sitting out there and you haven't seen Chris play in a while, this is part of the Golden State game.
Chris Webber, the overall #1 pick in the NBA draft. Orlando picked him, then traded him to Golden State for the rights to Anthony Hardaway. The second pick, of course, was Sean Bradley, who went to Philadelphia.
Now remember, Webber is averaging 17 points a game, 9 rebounds in 32 minutes.
Stolen by Sam Cassell.
Give it up.
Look at Ryder on the break. Oh, he missed the jam.
Well, he's warming up. He's warming up. Come on, now give him a break.
He gets a 7 even though he missed it, I think. Look at that catch. And the stick in. Calbert Cheney, athletic move there, catching that attempted lob pass. Cassell pulls up for the 3 and misses it. Van Exel's bounce pass to Mills out of bounds. It'll belong to the Doug Collins Phenoms, trailing by 8. Here's a good look at Isaiah Ryder.
But catch the explosion. Look where he is now. He's up there pretty good.
Just lost the handle on the ball.
Yeah, the ball rolled right out of the hand.
Kukoc with the lob inside to Antonio Davis for the jam. Good pass by Kukoc, but that doesn't surprise anybody who knows Kukoc.
No, that's right. See, Chris Mills fronted him, and Chris Mills was yelling backside, backside. Well, in an All-Star game, guys are saying backside. I'm just covering my own man. Backside? Yeah, I'm not rotating over here.
I have to do that come Monday.
That's right.
Mashburn for three. Kept alive by Weber. Oh, Popeye Jones wanted to go behind his back to Calbert Cheney. It's out of bounds. And a chance to cut this 6-point lead to 4 now.
See, coming into this game, Mashburn has attempted 166 threes. Now, that's almost 4 a game. The only guy in this game who has attempted more is Van Exel. He has attempted 181 during the season.
Coach wanted to get it to Weber, who was held up. Ryder playing in front of his home crowd here at the Target Center. Weber, strong and quick inside. Tipped back in by Ryder.
Well, he has the explosiveness. The thing is, though, that when a guy is that explosive a jumper as a 2-guard, you can always take advantage of it because they're constantly hitting the offensive boards and not getting back. There's that pass again. Will you please call timeout and tell these guys, let's eliminate, because all we're getting is turnovers. Look at that. That's right.
Doug's going, let's see, do I want to return to coaching? Let me think here. Maybe
Good job,
TNT sounds even better and better.
All you'd like them to do is, look, please make the easy pass.
Doug will be joining us here at the table, by the way, for the slam dunk and the 3-point shootout after his coaching stint. 32-28. K.C. Jones' team leading with 1:52 to go in the first half. Hardaway beats Kukoc off the drive. It's a 6-point lead for the Sensations.
Hardaway is outstanding going to his left on the left side of the floor. He loves that area.
Balanced scoring. 3 players for the Sensations with 6 points, and Hardaway with 8.
I mean, come on, you have to get up on Kukoc. You know, Tony shoots it right at 33%. He's starting to pick it up a lot better now. The European 3 about a step closer than the NBA 3, but now he's starting to pick it up and hitting at a high percentage for Chicago.
And Doug Collins gets a timeout with 1:17 to go. A 3-point difference in this game. The Sensations had led by 9, but the Collins-Hurley coaching combine calls their players over here to see if they can reduce it to 0 at the half.
All right, guys, we got a minute left. Lindsey, keep your dribble. So if we don't have anything, that you can take it over here and we get a good angle to make it off the double screen, all right? Let's finish up strong, guys. Come on, we're right back in this game now. Let's go.
Okay, Hubie, we just saw the play diagram by Doug Collins.
Well, they're going to run at least 3 different options here, and the end result would be a double down screen.
Doug had it diagrammed over on one side. I think as Lindsey Hunter said, can we run that on the other side? Doug said, sure, why not?
The main thing here is that naturally the coaches really don't know these guys. All players have a favorite side of the floor, and sometimes it's against the grain that you think would be the proper side for them.
Sure. 34-31, K.C. Jones Sensations leading with 1:13 to go in the half. Here's the play now. There's the screen. Well, so much for the best laid plans of Doug Collins' timeout. Mashburn handling the ball to Calbert Cheney for the K.C. Jones Sensations. Here is Bradley. 7-6. Good, tough player knocked out of bounds. Are we going to get an inbound that'll belong to the Sensations?
Well, it's been documented. The toughest thing for the Philadelphia people, you know, to get weight on the Bradley frame. He's only weighing 248 pounds.
Hardaway cans the open 3-pointer, and Penny Hardaway, the first to break into double digits in this game. He has 11 points.
And you notice, very quiet. He plays within the flow of the game. And that's what I like about him. He never forces things. He just allows the game to come to him.
That pass from Hunter to Chris Webber. 4-point Sensations lead. 30 seconds to go in the first half. Hardaway defended by Ryder. Red the needle inside to Calvert Cheney. There to knock it away was P.J. Brown, and this is Weber. To Hunter.
Acrobatic.
10 seconds in the half. That lob goes down to Calvert Cheney. 39-35. 15-minute halves. And a foul right before the clock runs out. 0.6 of a second in the half.
You've been watching this guy. Lindsey Hunter has a very, very quick crossover. Now we know that Hardaway has the best one in the league. But this young guy, after a couple of years of being around and knowing the defenders, is going to be able to take advantage of an awful lot of people. He is quick.
Doug was yelling back pick. The rookies didn't hear it or do it. And his team trails by 4 points at the half, but a pretty good game. Matter of fact, Doug's team had been throwing up a lot of shots. I think 33 shots in the first half of play. There's the score. We'll be back here for the second half in just a moment. Want to remind you that this is just the beginning of All-Star Saturday night. Coming up later, we'll have the slam dunk competition. Sean Kemp comes back to attempt to get the title that eluded him 4 times. Isaiah Ryder, who's already guaranteed a victory. And, of course, Mark Price will be in town to defend his long-distance shootout title. Welcome back to All-Star Saturday night. In the first annual Schick rookie game, Casey Jones Young Sensations lead 39-35. Anthony Hardaway with 11 points for KC's Sensations. Weber has 8 and Antonio Davis 7 for Doug Collins' Phenoms. Here at halftime at the Target Center, you're watching the presentation here of the Schick Achievement Award presented to a former NBA coach or player who's gone on to success after basketball. You certainly can say that Julius Erving deserves that award for his embodiment of hard work, commitment to community and entrepreneurship. And the award is being presented to Julius by Morgan Morton, president of Schick Razors and Blades. You know, I go way, way, way back to the real first slam dunk competition, Hubie, out of the ABA. The matchup between Julius Erving and David Thompson, who really started this slam dunk competition.
It was an outstanding event, and I'm just so happy that the NBA incorporated the slam dunk, the three-point shooting from the old ABA days. I had a chance to coach against Julius 12 times a year. Because of the ABA, he played tapes 12 times a year. He used to do some of the greatest and most magical things ever seen in the history of the game. When he came into the NBA, the knees were fine, but he would not attempt some of those things because what was happening is he was getting up in age and people were putting him down on the floor and knocking him into the stanchion a little bit.
What a great life he's had after basketball, which makes you even happier, of course. And we mentioned just a moment ago that Mark Price is back to defend his three-point championship. He's with Craig Sager right now.
Well, Bob, the long-distance shootout has become the marquee event. Mark Price, the defending champion. What did you learn last year, or anything you're going to do differently this year as the defending champ?
Well, I'm not trying to remember all what I did last year that made it work, but you know, it's a situation where you hope that you're hot that night, you know, and so I'm going to come out here and try to get hot in warm-ups and see if I can't carry it through.
Nobody in the league has better concentration or focus than you do. It shows up in the free throw percentage. What do you do out here? How do you focus on the rim or the ball?
Well, I think, first of all, you just got to relax a little bit out here, you know, and try to just enjoy it. I think you get too uptight, you know, the clock starts ticking and it can get to you, you know, so you just got to relax and just shoot the ball like you were in the gym all by yourself.
The whole key, the flick of the wrist, the roll off the fingertips, you practice that. What's it like?
Well, all that stuff, you know, it's just been a lot of years in the gym practicing. You know, all the guys that are shooting tonight are great shooters, and, you know, it should be a lot of fun.
Who are you worried about in the competition tonight?
Well, like I said, there's a lot of great shooters. I think a guy that to look out for would be Dale Ellis. He's won this event before, and he's been shooting the lights out lately from the three-point line. Steve Kerr, who's a great three-point shooter, B.J. Armstrong, all those guys are capable.
Should be a good competition. We have the defending champion, we have a former champion, Dale Ellis, and we have a host of challengers. We'll be back with Sean Kemp, the defending champion of the Gatorade Slam Dunk, as we continue our coverage at All-Star Saturday night. At halftime of the Schick rookie game, Casey Jones Sensations 39, Doug Collins Phenoms 35. And with me now, the defending champion in the Gatorade Slam Dunk. He hopes next year is Shawn Kemp, because this is his 4th time here, and he has yet to win. You don't want to be the Buffalo Bills, you told me.
I can't be the Buffalo Bills tonight. You know, 2 years ago, I came out a little bit too excited. Tonight, I'm more relaxed, and I'm going to have a good time out here.
Everybody says you're the one to beat. We got the music out here playing, a whole different format. What makes you confident this year?
Well, you know, I think just experience probably. I think J.R. Wright is a very good dunker, and I know he's going to have some good things for me, but I'm going to try to come out strong and try to finish strong.
You've had a great year. The Sonics, the best record in the league, 35-10. What about the season so far, the Sonics' chances to win it all?
Well, I think we just have to be more consistent in the second half. We went through a little slump there at the end of the first half of the season now, and you know, we have a good team. We got some good players with Detlef Schrempf, who's not here, and Kendall Gill, who's not here, and you know, I think we can do it. I think the team is have enough experience who can go out and win the championship.
With Harold Miner, the real defending champion, out with injuries, we say you are the favorite. Any special keys or anything you have planned?
Just don't miss the dunks tonight, and every dunk has got to be hard.
We saw Dee Brown come down here a couple of years ago. Got a little extra. What do you got down here?
Well, this right here, this is what you call an instant pump. And instead of pumping it up with your thumb, this is like a gun. You put it to the shoe, and you'll see me do it before I dunk. And that's what you have back here. You have a gun in the back of my shoe. I pull it out, give me a little more hang time in there.
Let me see it now. I want to preview it.
Go ahead. Pull it out, down, up. Simple as that.
Shawn Kemp is pumped up for the slam dunk. Good luck. Wow.
Did you get all of that, Hubie?
Pretty soon, they're going to be elevating and going a block without taking a subway train. All right.
You know, when they started changing the pole vault pulls,
Yeah,
you know,
right.
the technology, I didn't think the technology would change much in basketball here. Shawn Kemp, do you know, there's something else interesting about Shawn Kemp. 6 of the players in our rookie game are older than Shawn Kemp. Of course, he didn't go to college, play basketball in college, and we've got a pretty good ball game going here. Anthony Hardaway, you said at our stand-up at the beginning of the program that the players out on the perimeter who handle the ball would, as in any all-star game, have a better opportunity. That's what Hardaway's done.
Right, and it's difficult for coaches to force these people to put the ball inside to the pivot guys. And then anytime that you have fast break at All-Stars, everybody's trying to be a little fancy and then over-create. What happens is turnovers rather than just give off a nice pass. And we're seeing that also. But some guys have come off the bench and done a nice job. Albert Cheney has come in and 8 points. And then Antonio Davis from Indiana, who has done a terrific job at Indiana.
And not to be confused with Dale Davis, the other forward
right.
there, 2 Davis brothers.
See, and he has 7 points, and he's a rugged guy. So, we're seeing some nice things. The only thing that's not dropping for them right now, the one team is 1 for 6 in threes, and the other team is 2 for 6.
So the Doug Collins Phenoms are down by 4 as we take a look at some of the stats here. Casey Jones team, the sensation, shooting 57%. A lot of that on transition baskets, and the second chance points for the sensations, also the offensive rebound.
Well, it's the old story. Where do you get easy baskets? You get it in the open floor and then also on, the second shot opportunities. And they bang the board, and that's basically because of Chris Webber and a few of their guys. They got some rugged people here.
For Doug Collins' team, Weber has 8 points and 4 rebounds, Hunter 4 assists in the ball game. You see the sensation leading scorer there is Hardaway with 11 points, Van Exel 6 assists, and Popeye Jones. There's Doug. We'll listen in to him for a moment.
Hey, Tony, look at the open area. Read his eyes where he's going to tip the ball.
Talking to Tony Kukoc. I wonder
Guys
if
don't know how to
Tony
play jump balls anymore.
understands what he says. Tony Kukoc, the Croatian sensation, playing with Dino Radja. They played together on that Yugoslavian team that was so good.
First time I had a chance to see them. The Olympic qualifying. They lost the final to the Soviet Union over in Rotterdam. Front line, Brankovic at 7'4", played in Boston. Divac at 7 foot. Played naturally with the Lakers. Pospite, the small forward. The 2 substitutes, Raza and Kukoc, both 19 years of age. No one on their front line over 22 at the time. And then the great guard in the backcourt, Drazen Petrovic.
Wow. Incredible team. Little did we know at the time how good they were.
That's right.
Pass into Weber, who missed the reverse. And we're back underway. Again, the Casey Jones team in teal. The pass to Popeye Jones and the foul from Isaiah Ryder. Isaiah Ryder with the Minnesota Timberwolves. I'll repeat to you again the rules for this game. Not much different than a regular NBA game, except they're playing two 15-minute halves. The penalty doesn't go into effect unless a player you go to the line if he's shooting, of course. Then after 10 team fouls, and none of the players, no matter how many fouls they commit, will foul out of this game. Those are the only real changes in the regular rules of basketball.
Now, Popeye Jones on the line was at Murray State, got out in '92, played in Italy last year. He only plays a half a game, but he gives you 8 rebounds and 6 points at Dallas.
Kukoc with the drive and the pitch out to Ryder. Rebound 7-6, Sean Bradley. That's his first rebound in this game. Hardaway sees the opening, tried to jam, but he had to go right into the face of Dino Radja, who will be called for the foul. Dino Radja is a tough inside player. And frankly, Hubie, he's been property of the Celtics a couple of years now. They've been working and working and working, and he's starting to really develop.
Well, when they drafted him, people said, he just wasted a second-round pick because he's not interested in coming over. Now, they picked him up in '89, but he has been playing not only for the Croatian the national team in Yugoslavia for years, but then also he played in Italy for the last 4 seasons, honing his game. And he has done an excellent job for the Boston Celtics at that power forward position.
Lindsey Hunter passing off to Isaiah Ryder. Back to Lindsey Hunter from Detroit. Of course, Lindsey played his college ball at Jackson State. Everybody liked him in the draft. Thought that he would go where he did. And Detroit, of course, got 2 guards, Allen Houston and Lindsey Hunter. As Hardaway loses the dribble, the ball will belong to the Phenoms, trailing by 8.
There are 3 rookies out there right now that are not in this game but are playing big minutes, and they just came about getting it. George Lynch with the Lakers out of Carolina, Vinny Baker out of Hartford playing for Milwaukee, and then Allen Houston playing small forward for Detroit. And that all came about because of the problems
with Sean Elliott.
With the Sean Elliott deal.
And Sean, by the way, in case you haven't heard the latest, is he had some kidney problems, and the trade between Houston and Detroit was nixed. Sean Elliott's going back to Detroit. I understand that he's been cleared to play and will join his team and get back into action again right after the All-Star break.
Well, it's now going to be interesting to see if they open up the communications and then follow up and make the trade, because he was about to sign a 5-year contract for $17 million now. So we're talking, quite a few bobs, as we might say.
Radja will sit down, and checking in is Antonio Davis for the Phenoms, wearing white wears number 33 in white, and Antonio Davis played very well in the first half of play. Antonio had 7 points. Here's Lindsey Hunter, lightning quick. Reminds you a little bit of Isaiah Thomas. We've seen Isaiah Thomas with that exact move, behind the back to pull-up jumper.
But the big thing is that he's got to learn how to give up the basketball. When Zeke came out of the University of Indiana, he could not only score, but he could also put the ball right out there. When Isaiah does hang it up, he's going to be in the top 3 in assists. That's until Stockton retires.
John Stockton, who'll be playing tomorrow. Did you see that? The rebound and the tie-up with Sean Bradley. And look at this jump ball. Sean Bradley at 7'6", and Isaiah Ryder at 6'5". That was a no-brainer. Chris Mills for 3. And a 10-point lead for Casey Jones Sensations.
Well, during the year, Chris is 23 for 71.
Lindsey Hunter with penetration.
Lindsey Hunter, coast to coast for the Phenoms.
Sean Bradley with the lead in.
Look out.
4 on the run. The bounce from the jam that was missed by Chris Webber. Just a little mustard on that hot dog. Isaiah Ryder. There is a shot clock, by the way. Not that it comes into play in this game. The turnovers. 47-39.
Oh, beautiful.
The no-look from Hardaway to P.J. Brown.
P.J., you put those down with 2 hands.
Chris Webber's no-look pass lost by Kukoc. Let's go to Craig Sager.
Well, he was the 37th player selected. A lot of people thought he would have gone in the first round, but he was not disappointed. He started every game for the Lakers. It's been a great season so far. How are you able to put back the disappointment of not going in the first round to be able to really do well with the Lakers?
Well, first of all, by making an all-star game like this rookie game, you know, being in the second round, it really helps a lot. You know, just go out there and just play hard every night.
Hubie was talking about the turnover to assist ratio. Is that something you concentrate on or always work on, or thought you'd be able to do as well as you have?
I really don't concentrate on it. I just go out there and just try not to force the pass. You know, if it's not there, just don't throw it.
What about your thoughts on this game?
It's a little bit slow right now. Hopefully it'll pick up pretty soon.
Well, you get back in while I'll throw it back to Bob.
Sean Bradley gets the pass from Popeye Jones and the foul called inside. By the way, Nick Van Exel with 6 assists in this game, but Nick has not scored yet. Officials Ted Bernhardt, Joe DeRosa, and Jim Kinsey. We have 11:28 to go in the second half. The first annual Schick Rookies game. Casey Jones coaching the Sensations. They lead it by 8 over the Doug Collins coach Phenoms. The Phenoms in white, by the way. Hardaway scored 13, and Chris Mills has 12 for Casey Jones' squad, and Lindsey Hunter, the Doug Collins Phenoms, with 11.
Oh, Kukoc just dribble right. You know that he's looking to make the 3 this evening. This is going back to his homeland, so you know that he and Riza are looking to get the shots in their key areas.
The Croatian Radio Network is here broadcasting this game, and certainly they need a little entertainment and relief in that beleaguered country. Weber with the big jam off the break. Weber has 10 points. Kukoc 8, Weber 10, and Hunter 11 for the Doug Collins Phenoms, and we have ourselves a 3-point game here. View from our sky cam. Good look at the defense played there, the interception. Here's Sam Cassell. The handoff to Weber. I was in Tallahassee, Florida a few years ago when Chris Weber was playing AAU basketball before he was even out of high school. Sam Cassell was in the audience watching him play.
It's their personal first team foul.
That was just a nice ending. It's a way to send the ball down strong. And it's the opportunity. Do not allow a bump to take you away from a possible 3-point opportunity. Weber's the only major weakness that anyone sees in his game right now is his inability to make the foul shots. He's only shooting 54%, but he did not shoot over 55% in his 2 years at the University of Michigan either.
0 for 2 at the free throw line there. 5 rebounds to go with his 10 points. Do you see any flaws from just watching him there? Looks like he short-armed it a bit, maybe?
Yeah, but, you know, it's the old story. Guys like that, they work with a guru, a shooting coach. They make them in practice, but they get in the game, and it's the pressure of the game and also themselves. You know, no one can help you when you're standing on the line. Now it comes down to, you know, you got to get yourself in a rhythm, and you just can't do it by shooting 25 a day. We're talking about you must shoot hundreds so that you break the fact that you cannot concentrate, and then you get yourself into a beautiful rhythm.
Sam Cassell takes it inside, but there was Sean Bradley. Bradley stopped the shot, punched away from Mills. This is P.J. Brown, who comes from the New Jersey Nets to Van Exel, missing from long range. Weber out to Brian Russell, Utah.
Oh, yes.
Bradley, my. He's averaging 3 blocks a game and is a good shot blocker, not just a big guy.
Well, he's 3rd in the league. He has had 6 games of over 6 blocks. 1 game, he had 8 blocks. Now look at this. He's right up there. That's not where the foul occurred. It happened with his opposite arm in the lower back.
2 floors down.
There you go.
Brian Russell steps up and knocks down the free throw. Now, Dino Raja comes back in for Chris Weber this time. Jamal Mashburn checks in for Sean Bradley. Jamal Mashburn is no secret about it. Had some difficulties with Quinn Buckner down in Dallas about that team. Of course, they're struggling. They were struggling so much. You can understand that would happen with Jamal Mashburn. Made a couple of comments about he had better communications with his coach in college than he did with Quinn Buckner. But lately, the Dallas Mavericks have won a couple of ball games, which will ease some of their problems.
They have a young team, and young teams always have to work harder. They need more shots. The entire team is a low percentage shooting team, so you've got to get out and understand that defense is first to create turnovers so that you can get more shot opportunities. You look at that basketball team down there, and that's what they must do. It's got to come from the defense and the rebound and get out in the open floor. A lot of hard work.
Doug Collins Phenoms on a 10-2 run. They have a chance to tie here. Antonio Davis had 7 in the first half. Sam Cassell.
Nice.
To Dino Raja. Back to Brian Russell. Run down by Lindsey Hunter. You hear Doug Collins shouting play instructions. Kept alive by Raja and controlled by Cassell and Hunter.
The key to point guards and making it in this NBA and making it big is you must be able to score once you break that foul line and get down in the paint. And you can see it happens to a lot of young players. It's not like college where you might run into one shot blocker in a game or maybe 2. In the NBA, 4 guys can block your shots when they get down inside. They're bigger and they take up a lot of space. You only have about 100th of a second when you break that foul line to either end the play yourself or make and complete the pass.
Cassell thinking about the three-pointer. Penetration, the handoff to Raja on the baseline. Popeye Jones of also the Mavericks with that rebound. He has 6.
Popeye loves the board. He had 5 at halftime.
Stripped away on the drive. A chance to take the lead now for the Doug Collins Phenoms. Whoops. Lose that ball long as Sam Cassell did.
Nowhere to go.
Penetration. Once again, Popeye Jones out to Van Exel. Nice. It's all open for Monster Man.
Now that was a beautiful catch. A 360 spin. No dribble, no step, and he made the pass.
A 2-point lead for the KC Jones squad. Here you go again with Jamal Mashburn. Back in a moment.
The Sensations lead by 2. I'm with one of the Phenoms, Isaiah Ryder. First of all, a little sloppy play out there. You even missed a dunk.
Oh yeah, those things happen. You know what I mean? Yeah, everyone's having fun. You know, we're kind of coasting out here, and sometimes when you coach, you don't play the best you can. So we're trying to pick it up a little bit right now.
A busy night for you with a slam dunk coming up. Are you resting here? Did you talk to Doug Collins about resting your legs?
Yeah, I'm pretty much, resting, not exerting myself too much in this game. It's a fun game, you know what I mean? I'm not out to go out and try to do the best I can to get 30. Everyone's sharing the wealth and just kind of playing together. So I'm getting ready for the dunk contest myself.
You told me in June you're going to win it. You still feel that way?
I still feel that way.
Okay, and the music will be?
More bounce to the ounce, baby.
More bounce to the ounce, baby. He's resting his legs. Bob?
Doug said in the paper he's going to play Ryder till he dropped, but I guess he's relinquished now. Brian Russell on the inside has it rejected. Here come the KC Jones Sensations, leading it by 2 with 7:21 to go in this ballgame. Raja with a rebound. Looks for Cassell on the break. Good pass from Raja to Cassell.
And a beautiful read to the defensive man. Cassell coming back underneath on the other side. Quick hands.
Lindsey Hunter.
Quick hands.
The lob. Brian Russell with the jam. And the Phenoms have taken the lead. The first time they've led since it was 7-4. 55-53 Phenoms. 6:46 to go in this game. Interesting how these games are relaxing little exhibitions till it gets late as Cassell hits the 3. Same with the All-Star game tomorrow. Once they get down to the final few minutes, these athletes start buckling the saddles on a little tighter. So we have a 5-point Phenoms lead, and now KC Jones gets a timeout. And we'll be back to the Target Center in Minneapolis in just a moment. What's that, a smile on the face of Doug? Beautiful view of downtown Minneapolis as Doug Collins coaching feverishly on the sideline. His team on a 19-4 run.
Come on, D it up now. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
I hear Doug say D it up in an exhibition game here?
That's wishful thinking. Okay.
The 5-minute mark, you get Dino.
What I really like here is that everyone is getting a chance to play. That is the most important thing. You want to get the guys so that you don't have people coming in with 5 or 8 minutes in participation.
Everybody a chance to shoot the ball and score. Good distribution of the ball, and an excellent chance to see these youngsters, the future stars of the NBA. Would have been fun to watch somebody say like Michael Jordan his rookie year playing in a game like this. Nobody knew how good he was going to be. 58-53, the Doug Collins Phenoms leading with 6:12 to go in this game.
That was nice. They just ran a baseline screen.
Isaiah Ryder squared up and hit it from long range. Ryder has 8. 7-point lead for the team in white, the Phenoms. Sean Bradley. Ashburn from long range. Rebound Raja. Raja with 5 rebounds in the game.
Well, Kenny Smith was injured at Houston. Sam Cassell really came in and did a terrific job at that point guard position for Houston, and that's when they were smoking in the first half of the season.
Let's look at that again.
Now, this is a strong move, a power move. Unfortunately, Antonio did not put it down. One of the few things which he has not done here this evening, because he is doing a terrific job on the boards and clogging things up for Doug Collins' Phenoms.
Who lead it by 7 with 5:26 to go. The proceeds from this Schick rookie game will benefit the NBA Legends Foundation and the NBA Retired Players Association. Of course, for the last 10 years in All-Star Saturday Night, we've seen the Legends game, and frankly I'm glad they made the change, because if there's one sport that old-timers have a hard time playing and it becomes truly dangerous, it is basketball. We saw just a terrible knee injury to David Thompson, and there were more too. Even Doug Collins, who played a couple of years ago, had a small broken bone in his wrist.
We had David Thompson and Norm Nixon.
Exactly. So I think it's only appropriate that these young millionaires are playing in this game basically for free, with the money going to the Retired Players Association, giving something back to the game.
Right now, they're running a single on one side, a double on the other.
Kukoc defended by Calbert Chaney. Kukoc lean-in shot. He's got that. We've seen him make some big clutch plays with the leaner. 11-0 run now for the Phenoms, and they lead it by 9 after trailing by as many as 9 earlier in the first half. Van Exel. Penny Hardaway against Kukoc.
Well, he knows he can get by Kukoc anytime that he pleases. Now, unfortunately, he turned that one over. But that is his pet side. The left side of the floor loves to go to the baseline and then explode out of there. If you send that double-teamer, he puts that pass right into the lane for somebody for an easy basket.
Hardaway and Shaquille O'Neal, a tandem not only at Orlando, but in the new movie, Blue Chips, coming out soon. They're young movie stars, too. Kukoc ball away. Tony Kukoc now 5 out of 5 from the floor for 12 points.
Well, Tony, the European Player of the Year, 3 straight years while playing in Italy.
Into the long arms of Sean Bradley against Weber. The fadeaway from Bradley. Remember, Bradley's a pretty good athlete for a guy 7'6". He played baseball in high school. Broke up that pass intended for Chris Weber. And now let's go to Craig Sager.
Well, last time I talked to you was 53-51. Now suddenly it's 64-53. Lindsey Hunter sparking the Phenoms. What Coach Doug Collins tell you guys?
Just simply, we wanted to come out second half and then push the ball a little more and get Chris Weber involved. He let us throw some lobs to him and wanted me to penetrate a lot and create.
You had a lot of fun in this game. I know a year ago you said you were at Jackson State studying during the All-Star break. What's it like to be here this time?
It's great. It's a great experience. You know, I wish everybody could come and experience something like this, because it's wonderful for basketball and for people.
I saw you at the mall this afternoon at a store. If you make a three-pointer, you got 10% off. They owed you money by the time you got done.
Yeah, it kind of geeked me up in there. I was shooting baskets and just kept shooting. It was kind of fun walking around, and everybody's in the all-star spirit.
All right, thanks a lot, Bob.
Pleasant young man Lindsey Hunter under the tutelage of Isaiah Thomas in Detroit right now out of Jackson State. 64-53, Phenoms with an 11-point lead. Hunter has 11 points, 5 assists in the game. Kukoc has it blocked by Bradley. My. That's his second block in this game. Lob to Hardaway is missed by Van Exel.
Number 54, Popeye Jones, back in the game.
Keep an eye on Bradley now. I'm telling you, he's third in the league in blocked shots. And remember, he only plays 28 minutes a game. Now, naturally, everyone is not satisfied with what he is giving. He's getting you right around 7 rebounds, 10 points a game. They'd like to see the points and the shooting percentage pick up.
He changed that shot, but the offensive T-pin will go down.
Well, you know, a player his size and with that shot blocking intimidation factor going, they just don't get credit for the amount of shots which they change and end up as poor percentage shots.
That's the first basket in about a month for K.C. Jones Sensations. The Phenoms had been on a 15-0 run, now leading by 11. Isaiah Ryder into Kukoc as Bradley fell asleep, and Kukoc lays it in.
Popeye Jones was guarding Kukoc, and he never covered him.
Hardaway on the break. Back to 11 points. Hardaway now has 17 to lead all the scorers in the game. Kukoc has 14. Inside to Weber. What a powerful player.
Oh, he is. Everything is down inside on the move. As long as he's moving, you know, it's to his major advantage. Unfortunately, he must pick up the foul shooting right now during the 82-game season. It might not hurt the team, but at playoff time, they're going to be magnified.
Steal by Mashburn back to Hardaway with the reverse, and a little bit of a turnaround of the score here. It's now a 9-point Phenoms lead, and while we were talking there was a beautiful jump shot made from about 18 feet away by Sean Bradley to show you that he does have that shot, and that is certainly going to help his game out. 10 on the clock. The lob inside to Ryder. Tipped away by Mashburn. Shot clock expired. The turnover will go to the Sensations, trailing it by 9. We have a minute 33 to go.
Get Brian Russell. Hustle up, hustle up, hustle up. Stop, stop.
Doug is back into coaching. It's taken 30 minutes.
Yeah, he's having a lot of fun, and what's nice about it is he organized his team, and you know they're doing it. They're trying to do what he's asking them. You know how to stick together and get out here now, get good spacing, but more important, get the basketball around. But they've come out and played much better defense in the second half. K.C. Jones Ball Club just seemed to go a little bit too much one-on-one, tried to make the sensational lob passes, ended up with an awful lot of poor percentage shots and turnovers here in the second half.
Is everybody okay? Everybody rested? Listen, when you take the ball to the basket, just go strong. When you're getting yourself hung up, we're getting lost with passes. Go strong and take it to the basket, all right? Come on now, let's go.
You notice Bobby Hurley in the background, who's recovering nicely from his auto accident. We're all delighted about that, of course, and his rehab going very well. Is Doug's assistant coach here. I haven't seen Doug give him a lot of opportunity to talk to the other rookies, have you?
No, yes, assistants always talk to you before you get into the huddle.
Good point, good point. Bobby Hurley's dad, of course, a coach. He knows all about coaching.
One of the all-time legends of high school basketball coaching is that out of St. Anthony's High School in Jersey City, New Jersey. One of the top high school programs anywhere, anytime, any state.
Doctors are saying that the recovery of Bobby Hurley from that tragic accident has been nothing short of miraculous and a testament to his physical conditioning and mental attitude. Weber back out to Lindsey Hunter. 76-61. Doug Collins Phenoms leading. Minute 10 to go in the first annual Schick Rookies game. From the Target Center. Coming up, slam dunk, 3-point shootout. Lindsey Hunter from downtown. Isaiah Ryder, the rebound. Doug said he was going to play until he dropped. Isaiah told Craig Sager a little while ago he was going to rest. Notice he's on the floor, but he gave up the ball. Hardaway for 3. Penny Hardaway, what a star he is going to be.
He has it all. He has it all. He can give you the three-point game. He can take the ball to the basket. He's a good foul shooter. He makes the passes in traffic. Plus, we told you that he's in the top 5 guard rebounders. He gives you over 5 a game. The complete package. And he really enjoys playing defense.
22 points, 8 out of 9 from the floor, 4 of 6 from the line. And as you pointed out, the benefit, the actual edge goes to a man who handles the ball in an all-star game, in an exhibition game, because, of course, they have more opportunities. But Chris Webber, on the other hand, for the Doug Collins Phenoms, has played very well at the center position tonight.
Well, he's not only giving him the points, but he's close to 10 rebounds a game. 10 rebounds for the game.
Here's Hardaway again, already with 22 points, out to Calbert Cheaney, looking for Bradley. Bradley didn't get there in time, and Calbert took it to the hole. It's a 4-point Phenom lead with 18 seconds to go. Webber now with 16 points in the game to go with his 10 rebounds. Bradley with the double clutch jam, and maybe too little too late. 10 seconds to go, 4-point lead for the Phenoms, and Webber with a 360. Oh, that's just to tease the upcoming slam dunk. 2 seconds, 1. And the Doug Collins Phenoms have beaten the Casey Jones sensation 74-68.
Chris. Nice way to get the job done. Good job.
Oh, this is a great prelude to the slam dunk competition.
Now
watch this.
Is power and a little athletic ability. How about a little 360? Send it down.
#1 draft choice in the NBA. I'd say that he deserved to be the #1 draft choice. He and Bradley, Anthony Hardaway, all the overused words, impact players.
Hey,
Doug Collins shaking hands,
Hi, Joe.
speaking to the other team and the other folks on the floor. So Doug will be joining us for the slam dunk and for the 3-point shootout. We are happy to say we'll be in a good mood because his youngsters get the 74-68 win over Casey Jones sensation. Well, Doug Collins Phenoms in the first annual Schick rookie game got the Casey Jones sensation 74-68. Second half was the whole story there. A 15-0 run at one point in the second half got the Phenoms out in front, and they never relinquished the lead. The MVP of this ball game, the Schick MVP, and deservedly so, is Anthony Hardaway. 6 of 6 from 2-point land, 2 out of 3 past the 3-point line, 4 of 6 at the line, 22 points in 22 minutes. It shows you why the Orlando Magic wanted to team him up with Shaquille O'Neal. And now let's go to Craig Sager, who's with Penny Hardaway.
In the twilight of any eras, the dawn of a new one, our first ever Schick rookie MVP, Anthony Hardaway. First of all, your comments on the tremendous performance here.
Well, first of all, I just come to have fun. You know, it was an honor for me to be here, and you could have picked anybody out of the 16 players that were here to get MVP, and I'm just glad it was me.
Could have picked anybody, but the two ones with the most votes were you and Chris Webber. Traded for each other on draft day. They've been debating who got the better of the deal. Now you're fighting out for the MVP.
Well, you know, I'm lucky because Chris is a great player. You know, I wish I could share it with him because, you know, he deserves it also. But everybody can't win all the time, and this time I did. You know, thanks a lot.
You have a dominant force on the Orlando Magic by the name of Shaq. He is absolutely, positively everywhere. You have to play in his shadow. What about a game like this, being in the spotlight, taking MVP honors?
Well, it's great. You know, I just tried to come and have fun. You know, I'm going to play hard every night because I love to win. You know, I don't have a losing attitude at all. So right now, just trying to have as much fun as possible.
There's no doubt, in my mind, you're going to lead Orlando into the playoffs this year. But how far do you think you can go?
Well, the sky's the limit for Orlando. Right now, we have a young team. We're going to get more consistent, you know, in the second half of the season, and we can see where we can go from there.
Well, congratulations on the MVP. Enjoy the rest of the weekend.
All right, thanks a lot.
Hardaway with 22 points in 22 minutes and the Schick MVP of the first annual rookie game, deservedly so. And as he pointed out, Chris Webber also played very well. I was impressed with some players you didn't hear that much about, particularly early in the game, and who normally don't get an opportunity in games like this, one of whom Antonio Davis of Indiana.
Well, you know, like we tried to bring at the top of the show, when you have Kukoc, Raza, P.J. Brown, and then you had Antonio Davis. You know, we're talking about guys who played overseas, and it was just nice that for the people out in the audience tonight that you didn't have a chance to see them play college basketball, maybe. And then here they are in this ball game this evening. And then also for Sean Bradley to lay off basketball for 2 years, be on a mission over there in Australia. And you can see that Philadelphia really, they have a project here. He must gain weight. And then also he must continue to develop the stamina needed to excel at that level. But we always have to remember that when you talk about rookies, people say, oh, this guy's averaging 15 points, that guy's only averaging 10. Well, we have some of these rookies who are just as talented as guys who are giving you big-time numbers, but they were drafted by quality teams. Consequently, they're not getting the minutes. They're playing behind proven playoff players, and their time is limited, their minutes, their shot attempts. So consequently, they just cannot put up those numbers early. So you just don't, knock them out of the picture when you talk about down the line a little bit here.
And the good news for us is Doug Collins will be in a good mood because his team.
You're absolutely right.
Hubie and I have been worried about this all day. We didn't want Doug to come over here with an L and have to deal with him for the next couple of hours. Coming up, we have the slam dunk competition, also the AT&T long distance shootout from the Target Center in Minneapolis, Minnesota. This is All-Star Saturday night.
NBA All-Star Saturday on TNT is brought to you by